Joined now by John O'Shea, PRO of the West Board. A quick review of this evening's Tipperary Credit Union West Intermediate Hurling Championship final, which was won by Golden Cathedral, a scoreline of 129 to 0-16. It was a superb performance, I suppose, John, from Golden Cathedral from start to finish, really.
Yeah, definitely from the get-go, they meant business there. They were out of the traps very quick there, and I suppose they got a goal after 6 minutes there from Jack Bergen, and that put them 1-3 to 2 points up. And they really never looked back after that, Francis. There, they pushed on there with Ben Corrigan there and Sam Hall there, who started the game there. He was a late replacement there for Kieran Byrne there, and they went in at half time there. What was it? 15 minutes, 1-9 to 6 points. So they got 6 points into the lead at that stage, and they pushed on. And Ben Corrigan had the ball in the back of the net after that, but he was pulled back. The whistle had gone. He was pulled back for a free, and which Jack Leamy dispatched. And Leamy was unerring there as well from free. So they built up a nice lead and went in at half time, 116 to 8 points, and they actually could have another goal there around the 22nd minute there. Jack Bergen again got in there, but in Armand put the ball over the bar from the breaking ball there, and they were threatening any time they went up, and really Kappa couldn't get up to the pace of the game. There were probably something like they were against Kickham's in the opening half here last week, but they certainly during the whole game there, Francis, they didn't get up to the pitch of it at all there, and as the game went on, 116 in the first half, 13 points in the second half from Golden. Last week, if you remember, they hit 17 wides inside and scored 122. And I think, what did they score? Drive 6 or 7 wides tonight?
Yeah, I'm not fully sure of the wide count, but it was definitely, I think, nearly half from what it was the week before, which I suppose would indicate that they've probably worked a bit on their shooting practice. And it probably, I suppose, Brian Neamy reflected in his interview with you last week that it was probably their first game as well, and maybe there was a lot of cobwebs to get out of the system too, but he certainly got those cobwebs out of the system this evening.
He did, and he said, last week inside in Tracy Park, in Bansha, he said, they could have reached, they could have hit 128, 129. Well, they hit 129 tonight, and that was fair shot. Sam Hall, who got 1 point in the first, finished with 4 points from play. Lovely striker. Ben Corrigan there again from play. But Leamy, I think, hit, what did he hit tonight? 15 points, I think, 15 points in total. I'd say probably, 12 of those from frees or something. He was frees and 65s,
Just as you mentioned, Jack, there, his performance as well all over the field. He came out, around the middle of the field there to start the second half as well. His ability to catch ball there, he linked up very well with Ben Corrigan there at times, and Sam Hall as well. I suppose the forwards in the unit linked up very well. Their movement and that as well caused an awful lot of trouble for Kappa White.
They did, Francis, and I'll tell you, I suppose he lined out at full forward, but he wasn't playing in the full forward position. He was out on field, and he actually lined up at half time for the second half for the throw-in at midfield there, and young Dalton went in around the full forward line, but then the next time we look, Dalton is back in the wing and the full back line clearing the ball. It's just the sheer speed and agility of these young lads. And if you take Shawnee out of the middle of the field there, and from that in, they're a young side, very young side. The old full back line, I suppose they won't mind me saying it, Dahi Barger there, Shane O'Connell and Aidan O'Connell there, they'd be the elder statesmen of this team, especially Dahi. They would have been on that the team that beat Kappa in extra time in 2019. That's 5 years ago, I suppose. Dahi is playing he's playing 20 years adult hurling now, for at least more than 20 years with Golden, and he's still able to do a right sound job there. It's a good corner forward there that'll get anything off him, but definitely Niall Heffernan there centre back. But I suppose the two lads in the two wings, young Keane Ryan and Owen Marnan again. Marnan, I think, got up the field for 2 or 3 points from wing back. Keane Ryan got a point. So that they were all a young side, and we said it there last year. They got to the county final last year. Let's not forget that, and they were beaten by a good Borlahan side on the night, on the day in Thurles, and the occasion probably got to them a bit, Francis, there inside. Young lads, and I don't think they played to their potential, but certainly they made up for it tonight, and just shows you how hard it is to win back-to-back titles. It's going on for another year now to 2010. I think, as you said before, since Galtee was the last team to do it. Kappa White, failed to do it tonight, and they were definitely they played second fiddle tonight, like, you know. And Darren McCarthy probably hit a lot of hits. I think he hit, what is it, eight. He hit eight of their scores from place balls. You know, there was no real punch in the forwards at all, and it wasn't. It was because Golden were smothered. They seemed to have the extra man all the time, and at times here up at the road goals in the first half, when Golden were playing into them, they seemed to have men all over the place, Francis. I mean, there was one occasion there. There was one occasion here, and I think, who was it? Somebody won a ball out here, and there was, but he had a choice of three Golden players there, about 40 yards out, to pick out, unmarked. So that was the type of a game they played, like, you know.
Yeah, I suppose you mentioned there a lot of the balls, they broke their way, and everything. A lot of things seemed to go their way tonight. I know you used to work on that as well. Like, a lot of the breaks went their way in that as well. Even at times there was a fumble twice up there before they eventually got a score as well. But it just seemed to be their work rate in that as well, and they made everything kind of go their way as well. Like.
They did, and they were dogged. You know, they were never beaten. You know, even when they'd lose possession or be dispossessed, they kept fighting. I think there was young Bergen down in the corner here under the scoreboard. There was a ball going wide, and he had no business to win it. He was on the ground, and he sort of kept the ball there until help came. You know, that sort of way they were, and they were leading well at this stage. You know, so it was fight for every ball, never be beaten for. And look, they go in now next week into that. The West is over now. They have the luxury of a spot in the preliminary quarter final if needs be in the championship. Now they meet Kappa again next Saturday, 8 days time in Clonowity in the first round of the county, which will be, they'll be looking to put two back-to-back wins over Kappa, but Kappa will be coming out now. They'll go away. They'll have 8 days. Mick McCarthy there will have, he'll work on something there, because they certainly weren't up to their A game tonight, Francis. But it's all to play for now, out in the county now again next week.
I suppose you mentioned Kappa White there. They couldn't get into positions, even into. I suppose they relied a lot from place balls tonight, and maybe Willie Barry coming out to feel like he did the last night against Cakems, but they struggled to get even any real proper goal chance on Jack Corvin tonight as well. And I suppose you probably have to credit the Golden Gilfeacle defence there as well.
You have, Barry came out around the field in the second half, but he couldn't get into the game. He didn't get the same freedom as he got against Cakems, because, and you have to give credit to the Golden defence for that. And as I said, their forwards were even defending, coming back. They were up and down the field, and they were well able to move. But I like the type of hurling that Golden played. A couple of years ago they were playing this old defensive hurling and crossing, playing lateral hurling. Now they're going forward all the time. And it suits them, because they're well able to play it, you know what I mean? And they're getting the scores, and they've put up 2 big scores now, 2 weeks running. And, they'll go in with a bit of confidence now. That young team, they needed to win something. They won it tonight here in Ennicarty, and I think they'll drive on from there. They have the ability to do it, whether they will do it or not, because it's not a county championship. It's not easy.
It's not easy one, I suppose. Obviously, the aim is to get back to a county final. It can be hard to get back to a county final the second year in a row, but they have silverware, as you said, under their belts now as well. They probably had that mixture as we gone through the team there, that bit of experience at the back, that bit of youth up front, and there seems to be a bit of confidence with the younger fellas as well. They don't seem to have any fear at all. There's a real confidence, a real drive in it.
There is, yeah. These young lads, they don't fear anything. You see, you have the three. Look, we could go through them there and the panel there, but they had the 3 Daltons there. I think I spoke about them before. The 3 Daltons. They're a huge 2 brothers there. I think, if I'm right in this, Jack and Pádraig are the brothers, and I think Gavin is the cousin. Now I could be wrong on that, because no matter how many times I was told, I was talking to their granduncle there, and he confirmed it tonight for me. But I think I may have got it wrong again. But the power of those lads, the amount of even the Jack fella in the middle of the field. I mean, he covered from end to end there. We spoke about, he went in full forward at the start of the second half. 5 minutes later, he was back clearing the ball out of the left corner back position. I mean, these lads, they have no fear. They just hurl away. Young lads, you see, can do that, and you see, they're able to hurl, and they're fit, and they're strong young lads.
Yeah, they just seem to have no fear. When the word go, I suppose we were expecting maybe a close final or that, but Golden seemed to come out a team that was just determined to really put daylight between the sides early on. they used their speed and their advantage, and that's why I suppose they're West champions tonight. Like,
Yes, that's correct. And we did think it would be closer. There's no doubt about that. I certainly did anyway, because although we did say, and I suppose went on that there, that it was hard to judge the two semi-finals because Golden had it so easy against Arrowell. Now, tonight's game puts that game against Arrowell into context. Do you know what I mean? Last week, maybe Arrowell wasn't as bad as we thought they were.
yes,
If you put, you know what I mean? If you put take the two games into context, so. And then Kickham's put it up to Kappa White going for. So all these lads, these four teams going forward now in the county championship, they should go in with confidence. Even the Kickhams who are beaten in the semi-final, and Arrowell who are beaten in the semi-final, they should take solace from this, because this to me was as good a team that ever won a West Intermediate here tonight. That Golden team was, for a crowd of young lads, for a young team.
Yeah, they certainly, when you're seeing 130 going up, and I suppose you mentioned it's been almost impossible for the last 15 years to retain the trophy. Because you mentioned there as well the four teams. When we looked at it in perspective, taking all the games into account, that probably shows why it's very hard to retain the trophy. Like,
Jeez, look at West Championships are not won easily. No more than county championships. It's dog eat dog there, and it's on any given day. And but I like the way this Golden team played tonight there. You know what I mean? There's something about them there. We saw it last year in it there. They got to once they opened up there, once they got down to the knockout stages last year, they were a bit in the county championship last year. They were a bit, I suppose, probably a bit green going into it, put it that way. But then when they got to the knockout stages, they beat a Drum team in a quarter final, and they beat a good Kilshiel and Kilcash team in a semi final before going down to Borlahan, as I said. And they were only beaten here in Annacounty last year by 3 points in that West semi-final by Kappa White. And I think, if memory serves me right, down at the bottom goals here, they had a chance to draw the game there, I think, in injury time with a 20-metre free, which was saved, Francis, I think. Remember? So, I mean, they were there or thereabouts as well last year,
Yeah. I suppose we'll leave it there for tonight. I suppose the big story is Golden Kilfeacle have won it 129, huge score, and I suppose for another year running, the West Intermediate Hurling Championship title hasn't been retained. Galty still hold the honour of the last team to retain it. So we'll hopefully speak again, John. Thank you.